Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to the Goosebumps video game. We made it all of 2 scenes in this point and click adventure. We're in the parking lot of the school. We need to be going home. The thing, you know, is a point and click adventure really is up to you as the player how much you're going to enjoy it. So if I just skip through everything and don't look at everything, I'm gonna miss items. We know this is an inventory based point and click adventure where you can have on some rare occasions it happens, some adventure games where there's really no inventory items or there's very few, so missing items is definitely something you want to avoid. But also you're gonna miss dialogue. In 90% of a adventure game like this is going to be dialogue, and in this case 90% of it's going to be reading because I don't think there's any voice acting in this game. I clicked looking at the slime. The slime is not normal. Your mind races with thoughts of alien invasion or zombie drill. What could it be? You must have some courage and go in for a closer look. Now I've noticed when I click forward it doesn't work half the time. I have to click twice. Oh, it's just someone's old milkshake. Really, really old milkshake. Alright. Dumpster. Open. Gross. Dumpster. Look. You peer over, trying not to get too close. But you can smell it. You fail, and the reek of spoiled milk assaults you. Dumpster. Push. You smell. If the smell didn't deter you, the cockroaches skittering across the dumpster certainly do. So this is a kid, of course, and, like, no duh. Now I'm seeing little bits of trash here, but that's kind of all I'm seeing. Seems like there's a shortcut and the wrong way to my house. We've seen in storyline that there's a shortcut through the forest. A creepy forest makes sense for a horror or kids spooky game. I don't know if you really want to call this a horror story, or if anything for kids is really a horror story. Like, look at the cars. What a beat up cold car. You wouldn't mind one just like it, but you're too young to drive. So we know that there's probably just 2 teachers in the school if there's 2 cars, unless people carpooled. Then there could be, I suppose, as many as 8 or more people, teachers at school. Let's look through the woods. You've been playing in the woods since you were little. You used to reenact movies with your brother before you grew up. You're kind of grown up now yourself. You mainly use the woods as a shortcut to and from school. And if we look over here at the dusty path, it's a rough looking gravel path. You've heard it goes to the janitor's shed, but you can't be sure. So I think the world of this game is going to be relatively connected and open world, and so I don't think we're going to lock ourselves out of areas. I think we'll always be able to get back to the school. And for that reason, I think it's alright to just play the game the way the game wants us to do and move forward. You hike up the well-worn path into the woods. So we're going home. The familiar sights and sounds of the woods. The path leads over a bridge and turns into some trees. That seems a little unrealistic, that there's a hiking path through the woods. But I suppose you could do that, certainly, if the woods turn out to end right at the school, and I'm not sure why they would. You would think it would be a more industrialized area that you would have a school in the sense that all of the land around the school probably either has businesses or houses around it. That's the reason why they put the school where they put the school, is to be in a central location. But then I think the idea of having a river near schools with a bridge you're crossing, it seems a little bit irresponsible since nobody's watching it. Let's look at this fiver. What is a fiver? Oh, flyer. I misread that. I'm like, are they using British terminology for a $5 pound note? Oh no, it looks like someone lost their dog. Poor kid. Alright, let's go and take the flyer. Pull the flyer down from the tree, just in case you find a similar dog. Of course, by pulling down the flyer, you've undone the intention of the flyer. It's a lost dog flyer. You should keep an eye out for GG, a lovable bundle of cuddles, apparently. Let's see. We can look at the creed. The creek lazily ripples through the woods. Actually, one of my schools, I guess, did have like a dry riverbed / overflow thing that was just muddy, and none of the kids were supposed to go near it, and I think I did in elementary school go near it and almost get stuck in the mud. Apparently I can wade in this creek if I want to. The bridge, it's sturdier than it looks though. It's lasted your entire childhood. You're not getting a highlight on objects, which is interesting. Trees stretch up towards the sky, providing a nice sense of isolation in the middle of a suburban environment. That's a big word. Like, I would have really thought that you would have gotten a little bit of a yellow highlight on everything, at least when you hovered over it, so you know what to click on. We've seen that in adult point-and-click adventures games. It's kind of odd that we aren't getting that in a kid-focused one. You don't have time for that right now, but you could totally climb it, just to be clear. So I can't climb the tree, so sometimes it's just going to tell me no. Let's see if I try to wade the creek. You happily splash around in the creek, your shoes, socks, and pants are soaked. You also kind of smell funny now. Okay, let's jump on the bridge. Tromp, tromp, tromp. Nope, didn't budge an inch. That's one secure bridge. And seems like there's only going to be 4 to 8 things to click on. If you keep heading in these woods, you'll reach your neighborhood in a few minutes. So let's move forward, cross the bridge, and head deeper into the woods. You reach a small clearing, surrounded by trees on all sides. There's a weird guy creeping around. You've never seen him before. So now we're starting to get the horror element here. We've got actual animation, where a lot of point-and-click adventure games would just have a character standing in one place, or it would immediately jump to a face portrait of that character talking to us. Well, I'm doomed. I seriously doubt this would be a game designed so that you die and then you come back to life and you try a different way. That would be certainly a very old school Sierra-esque point-and-click adventure game where the just random deaths out of anywhere, but nobody really liked those things, that style of gameplay. So I don't think that would work. Hey, let's do one or two things here. Let's either flash a flashlight on this guy, or take a picture of this guy. Take a picture on the man. He bounces off harmlessly, but he definitely knows that. He raises his arm slowly and hear a leafy hiss. The vision blows as the plant's creature's vines tighten around your neck. You struggle, but it's too late. You're already withering. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. This is weird, certainly. You're gonna get some horrific things, and it is basically a Sierra-style game where you die. Also, you have a clear example here of this is just like, that's kind of not what I expected to happen. I was thinking shine a light on him to see him better or take a picture of him. I was not thinking immediately throwing a cell phone at him. And I don't know where this saved. I guess it probably saved at least after I picked up the flyer. But did it save after I splashed around in the moat and jumped on the bridge? Does any of that really matter? Let's see, curved trees. You know, trees grow more contorted each passing year. And see, as a kid's game, I'd be like, oh, well, just go back. I mean, that's kind of all you can do. The hill rises up, creating a kind of wall in the clearing. It's too steep to climb. So let's see if we can look at the man. The guy looks like he's been around 30 or so. There's something off about him. His clothes are torn and he won't make eye contact. Taking it closer, you notice his hair is green and kind of leafy. You see bugs crawling around beneath his clothes. Do we just talk to him? You start to ask the man if he's lost, but he grunts at you unintelligently. What's interesting is since this is a, I believe, 2015 game, it has Steam achievements. I may very well have gotten an achievement for finding a way to die in this scenario. Meanwhile, I think I'll just, see if I can leave. Take the right path. This leads to a big spooky tree. You're nervous about that guy though, whoever he is. So can we just take it? Take a few steps around the weird guy, but he spins on with you. He spins on you with inhuman speed. And you die again. Okay. So, unless the goal is to, say, use a note on the hill, or use the note on the woods path, or use the note on this guy, I'm kind of out of ideas. I think you just have to go somewhere else. So we've got something that's just blocking our way. Jog back towards the school. School parking lot is nearly empty as most of the school is gone home. You can faintly hear the football team practicing. It's going to be the same description each time. So let's go down the dusty path. I feel like I jumped in the creek and now I'm getting squishy sounds every time I walk. You head down the path towards the general shed. It's more overgrown than you expected. By the time you reach the shed, the wind's picked up quite a bit. Your cheeks sting from the cold. Well, it looks like we've got some weed killer. While the weed killer, it's a handy two-setting nozzle. Take. Although I would say this is probably a bad lesson to teach kids. You shouldn't be playing with weed killer and other potentially poisonous and toxic chemicals. Carefully tuck the weed into your bag, checking that it's set to off. Let's see this looking shrubbery. Ironically, the greenery around the shed doesn't look maintained at all. Look at the tools. What's the point of the shed if you're going to leave all the tools outside? Let's see. Use. Okay. So, we've got a padlock. Padlock looks ancient. It's covered in rust. Let's hit it. Ouch! You slam your fist against the lock. resulting in bloody knuckles. Ouch! I was not expecting to be bleeding at this point. I think they probably should have said, and a bruised ego. That would have been better sentence to say. I don't want to be bleeding or bruised at all. Made of thick boards, carelessly bolted onto the frame. This probably isn't the original door. Knock. Your knock vanishes into the structure. You wait a moment, but no response. Guess no one's home. Open. Tug on the handle, but the padlock holds it shut. So it seems like what we're gonna do is have to kill the lead character, get to the house, and then get back here when we have some kind of tool. Like, one assumes you can't just use the locker key on the padlock. So let's move back this way. We've got music playing in the background, which certainly I've played some games where they've decided. Oh, don't forget to save your game frequently in case of the unthinkable happens. Press escape and select save from the menu. So there is a menu. Let me hit escape. Alright. Save. First I had heard of a menu at all, but I guess we're still kind of in the tutorial section. I still think you could have started at the house and gotten into the house, but I guess the way they want us to walk through a creepy woods and deal with this obstacle first does make a little bit of sense. It also has us dealing with an obstacle alone, whereas our brother Chad will show up. I wonder what the name of our sibling would have been had we played as a male character. Would it still have been Chad? Probably. Or would it have been a female character that they have a different name for? Well, seems kind of obvious. This guy's a plant. So let's see if this works on him. If there's more to it and I have to interact with something else, say like I needed to put a hose on the weed killer or put it in a balloon and throw it at him, we haven't seen any items that would indicate that. On hunch, you raise the weed killer and pump the trigger 3 times, spraying the strange figure. It recoils violently as it hits his face, as so it would also probably a normal human. Smoke rises from the winds and you smell something like freshly cut grass. He retreats to the foot of the hill before falling down and cowering. So are we going to take pity on him? Doesn't seem so threatening anymore. He's covered his face with long ropey fingers and trembling. Can we talk to him now? He doesn't seem to be particularly interested in conversation at the moment. Alright, well, we could look at the right path. There's a clearing just ahead that's a really cool tree. Maybe you should take a look. Or path to the left. You're halfway home, just further bit down this path you can head up to the street. Alright, I guess we should take a look so we just know what this really cool tree is about. You cut through the trees and travel further into the woods. Reach a big tree, take a nice deep breath. Ah, the air on this spot smells cleaner somehow. So there's some uneven dirt. Wait, this isn't from the roots. The dirt's been disturbed recently. Let's dig. Try to dig with your bare hands, but it's just tightly packed dirt cakes under your fingernails. And I'm getting dirtier and dirtier. This tree is so big it must be incredibly old. If you wrapped your arms around it, your fingers won't touch, not even close. Alright, so we got the spooky tree. And this way is moving back to the woods. And this way is moving back to the woods. And this is moving back to the woods. So, we looked at the tree, we saw that we need a shovel. You turn and head back. You enter the clean your work guy who's still cowering in the corner, so you do your best to ignore him. Alright. Of course, this always is the chance that this is a story seen through the eyes of a child, so maybe a child just sprayed like weed poison in the face of a crazy person or just a regular adult and he saw him as a monster. That was always kind of a point in the Goosebumps stories from, well, at least the TV series. There was often times where a kid would see a monster and the parents would either be in on it and deny that what he saw was what he saw, or the parents wouldn't believe the kid, thus emotionally isolating the main character of the story, increasing the scariness of it. Leaves crunch under your feet as you walk down the path. Hey, we got more animation. And a group of kids. This is in the woods. You can see the neighborhood just up the hill. Looks like there's some kind of commotion near the tunnel, which I would assume that's like a water runoff tunnel. That's a pretty big tunnel for not having any kind of grate or anything over it. You could have bears or some giant animal walk in there and make a nest. Where's my mouse cursor? Apparently I'm not clicking on the right thing. Seems like if my mouse cursor is not somewhere around the middle of the screen, the story won't move forward. Let's look at the crowd. A bunch of kids from school are gathered around. They seem really excited about something. Let's see, what else could there be? We could go in the tunnel. We could go this way. This is uphill. This is uphill. It seems like there's unlikely that a rock, or we could look at the trees in the background. You and what? How do you pronounce that? You and Maria? I guess, yeah. That's the spelling. Maria knocked a wasp nest out of one of those trees once. Was it this one? Maybe not. Alright, so creek continues through the tunnel. You hear a faint rustling rush echoing from the other side. Let's talk to the kids. You ask what's going on, but Tyler, Alice? How do you pronounce that name? Man, it seems like they're making some rather diverse names here, or spellings. Alseth. Alseth. I guess it's Alseth. Tyler Alseth just glares at you. Mind your own business, Rydo. Of course, I typed in my name from... Yeah, so of course my name is a gamer tag and weird. But oddly, it doesn't stand out. Alright, well then let's look at the pipe tunnel. The tunnel is actually a large drain pipe. Water inside stinks like old socks. Well, do I want to go in there? Look for a way through the crowd, but that's just not happening. Do we try to speak to him again? Thought it was clear, Tyler said, as the crowd draws in tighter. We found it first. Get lost. Let's just keep on talking. So yeah, there's two responses there, and these kids are just not going to do anything with us. So unless I was going to use the note on the crowd, you toss the note, but it doesn't fly very far. We could give this flyer to the crowd. Hold out the flyer. Have you seen this dog? Short brown fur, about 7 years old. And apparently we get no response on that, which is not surprising. Heck, weed kill worked last time. Aim the weed killer carefully and prepare the fire, but think better of it. Well, okay. Fair enough. As much as I may want to make the main character of the story a psychopath, it doesn't seem like the game is going to let me. Alright, so we move forward. And uphill. With large steps you hike up the slope to your neighborhood. One assumes what's going to happen is that those kids will be gone, and then we'll be able to sneak in there and see whatever they found. Almost home, you think as you step into your neighborhood, your spirits fall immediately when you notice an accident down the street. The road is completely blocked. You need to find a different way around. So, we saw an accident in which the ventriloquist dummy was in the back, and we kind of assume that that is what this is. That moving van got into an accident, the back is open, all the boxes are spilling out into the street. See, this is kind of what the Goosebumps movie was also, is that somebody moved in new next door to R.L. Stine. Yeah. Isn't he the one that writes Goosebumps? And isn't that just a pen name for now I've forgotten the real name of R.L. Stine. I need to do some research. See if we can move it. Troy over the wrecked moving van. You press inside the van and see a ton of boxes along with odds and ends. The crush doesn't seem to damage anything. A sense of dread creeps up the back of your neck. So it seems like you can move to the street, or I don't know how an accident would really block your path, but I suppose it could happen. Canister or something, you have to keep your distance. That glow doesn't bode well. Really imposing scarecrow, pumpkin head, straw hair, threadbare hat. Look at the globe. You don't really see these much anymore. It's a globe, a map of the earth. Spin. Wind up and spin the globe with a mighty slap. It spins and spins and comes to a stop. At Transylvania, spooky. Let's look at the books. Some nondescript books are stacked up like encyclopedias, a thesaurus, and a style guide. Boring stuff. Let's take the books. You pull out a decent looking book and dust it off. Shrugging, you place it in your bag. Kleptomaniacy. Always the right move in a point and click adventure game. One of these shrunken heads with weird olive skin, wispy hair, and their high cheekbones. Its eyes and mouth are sewn shut. Some nondescript books are stacked up. We already got some books. Let's take the shrunken head. Pick up the shrunken hole. It's cold and slimy, and drop it into your bag. What else can we take? Look at the portrait. It's like a fancy portrait. Though it's too dark to see much detail. So you're just stealing stuff out of the back of this moving van. You feel pretty nosy opening up these to look inside. They're probably full of socks and underwear anyway. Here's a top hat. What a snazzy top hat. You can see the magician wearing it during his act. Take that. With a flourish, you make the hat disappear into your bag. Let's see. What else can we find? Seems like it's just a sarcophagus. Or a coffin. It looks really authentic. A thin layer of dust covers all over. Let's open it. You struggle with the handle and it won't budge. Do manage to kick up a cloud of thick dust, though. So, like, the only thing you can't take is the canister. Interesting. So, You feel like you shouldn't be here and decide to creep away after stealing 3 different things. It's a sleepy neighborhood street. You're surprised people don't seem more concerned about the accident. Alright, what is this book? Very thick book labeled encyclopedia. Must be ancient. Alright. We've got trees we can't look at. We've got houses that we can look at. Idyllic tract homes lined in the street. You assume a happy nuclear family lives in each one. Alright. Well, let's see, how did we get to the map? Let's look at that. Map, and then we are here, and this would be where we came from, and this would be the forest with the weed man that we sprayed, and this is the tree. So you can see there is a lot of places that this could be, certainly. Now it's starting to zoom in and make more sense, so perhaps now I can scroll down. No, you drag it. Oh, okay. I just realized this. But if I wanted to get back here, it doesn't seem like you can do that. I guess I'm wrong. I just Wikipedia'd it. R.L. Stine seems like he is an actual person, according to Wikipedia. Robert Lawrence Stine, sometimes known as Jovial Bob Stine, or Eric Affaby, is an American novelist, short story writer, television producer, screenwriter, and executive editor. Okay. So it's not so much a pen name as an actual name. Alright. Apologies for confusing him with another author. I thought maybe that was the case, but maybe that other author did a series like Goosebumps. There certainly have been 2 or 3 series that are going in this route, certainly of scary stories for children, which seem to sell probably a little bit better than anything else, at least until the Harry Potter series came about, and then we had fantasy stories for children come back into fashion. It's pretty cyclical, but it happens almost generationally. Fantasy stories certainly were fashionable back when The Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland came out, but yeah, that they kind of fell out of fashion in favor of other mystery stories, more popular, certainly, like the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew and things like that. It's been 30 minutes. I can now hit escape, I know, and so we'll save every recording and get that little ding, and then we'll just end the recording here. Notice the music doesn't really stop when you bring up the menu. That indicates to me there probably is no timing based action that's ever going to be required, which may limit the amount of mini games. We may never really find anything other than item interaction puzzles, whereas if there was like a combination lock or jigsaw puzzle, tile sliding puzzle, mini game, game mechanic in this, I'd be surprised if we see anything like that. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.